Welcome to the Block Sit Down. This is the One Foot In podcast where we take 1 foot in to the college football realm, the college football world. And today we have the pre-game show of Week 10. We got a couple games we want to talk about, a couple ranked matchups, mostly coming from the SEC, but then there's a Big 12 matchup I want to get into. And a lot of playoff implications going into this week, and a lot of potential upsets that could happen. And the potential upsets that I'm going to hone in on is going to be on the one eye on the games that you need to keep a one eye on during this slate of games on Saturday and some Friday games. Well, just one Friday game. How are y'all feeling today?
Uh, I mean, we
I'm
probably
here.
if you guys subscribe to the channel. Obviously, yesterday the plot armor podcast was supposed to be posted, but things happened. I overslept, so that never happened. So I recorded that early today, so we got that out the way, and now here I am. So yeah,
How
life.
was that podcast?
It was pretty short, like 40 minute. Usually it's an hour, but we didn't really want to force anything, so we kind of came with what we got and kind of got the job done. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I'm here to yap, so this podcast is going to be well over 40 minutes. VJ, how are we feeling today?
Um, I'm here, man. I mean, it's week 10. Now we're starting to hit like that brink of playoff implication type of game. So I'm excited to actually kind of talk about these or hear about it.
I feel like we've had a lot of breakoffs in games for bye weeks. For one, there's a lot of teams on bye weeks, but it's also we know what teams are good, which teams are bad, which teams don't got nothing to play for no more, and what teams are just like playing spoiler type thing. So a lot of these games, they're ranked matchups, but it's like a lot of things are already like Ole Miss, like they're gonna probably win out. They don't need to be highlighted. And like there's things like that. Like we already know like what the Big Ten championship is up to this point, unless something drastic happens that I don't see going on for at least Ohio State. Um, but yeah, going into our first matchup, we got Vanderbilt, a top 10 team. This isn't your grandma's Vanderbilt, number 9 in the country. Got a noon game going to Texas. Texas has had a bye week. They've had, I think, 3 or 4 away games in a row. They haven't played at Texas in a long time, and they might have to do without Arch Manning. Up to this point, I don't think he's practiced this week, and they saying he's making significant progress, which whatever that means is fucking concussion. So if he hasn't played and it's going into Friday, I don't think he's gonna play. This weekend, Saturday. So they're gonna have to rock with the Troy transfer. Wasn't he Troy transfer? Matthew Caldwell. Caldwell was the one that hit the game-winning touchdown in overtime to give Texas the lead and an eventual win. So now they're gonna have to go into this game against a top 10 matchup in Vanderbilt or top 10 team in Vanderbilt. 7-1 on the season, and yeah, VJ, what do we see from this?
What do I
What needs to
see?
happen?
Personally, I I think this is definitely gonna be Vanderbilt's one of biggest games they're gonna need if they want to continue this type of miracle run they're on. Especially against Texas, who obviously we've seen they have up and downs, but Texas they need this probably more to even stay alive in contention for a lot of things. So it's interesting now because Texas at home. You got a little bit of home field advantage now, a little bit of momentum back. You're like, okay, it should go their way a little bit, like or lean towards it. But then Arch Manning being out, it's kind of like who knows now. So this could be a very interesting matchup. So we can go in depth on that little score prediction later, but it's definitely interesting. How about you, Rack?
Man, that was one of my big question coming in is Arch Manning playing this Saturday? Because that's kind of the big exclamation mark. I know because I was looking, the prediction where ESPN got 70% Texas. I was like, is that they believe Texas is gonna win that much, like confidently that much of it. But I don't know if that's with Arch Manning playing. But obviously what Cam said earlier, he seems like he's looking better, but seems like he's not confirmed to play yet. So big question mark for me is Arch Manning. And honestly, like when we get into prediction, it's like I want to ride for Vanderbilt, but Texas at home, and I really it's hard for me when I see a 70% like favor to Texas. It's hard to believe after Arch not being here, and their struggle with Mississippi State, going to overtime last week. But then again, Vanderbilt lost to Alabama. It, I'm kind of conflicted on who I want, who I think is going to win. To be honest, like I don't really know if Texas is really whoever who that quarterback coming in, Cam.
Matthew Caldwell. He played a
Caldwell.
couple games at Troy.
Yeah,
But he's been like a journeyman in
yeah.
the
I don't
national
know.
realm.
I don't know if Caldwell gonna be able to get it done. Then again, we could have a situation where Caldwell was the guy the whole time. But we're gonna have to see when that time come, when this Saturday come at 12 p.m. on ABC, to see what he can do. That's if Arch is not clear. If Arch isn't clear to play. So yeah, Cameron, final thoughts or predictions?
Matthew Caldwell started his journey in 2021 at Jacksonville State. Goes 2 years to Gardner Webb, and then does a couple games last year at Troy, and then now is at Texas. So yeah, he's a veteran in this. But I think the biggest thing for Texas is going to be C.J. Baxter. C.J. Baxter was injured for like almost a month. Got injured in the UTEP game, hamstring injury. Came back last week, looked pretty well. But he's going to try to complement Trey Wisner in the backfield a lot. And I think if they get the run game going, it's going to help Caldwell kind of just like calm down a little bit, even though he's a senior. But I think if the run game starts up, or even if it struggles, if they got to lean on Caldwell, I think it could happen. Caldwell is a great passer from what I've seen, very accurate, and in the back of the end zone on the overtime, just shows how good he is. It took one play for them to score right after Arch goes down. So he's not a bad quarterback in any means. That Texas defense, I haven't seen them really, like, I would say, show up, but they kept a lot of these games close. They should not let Mississippi State score 38 on them and take them to overtime in that sense. So I really want them to really lock in on this game, and it should be that one guy that's at quarterback for Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia is the whole offense for this. They got, I think, a tight end that's potential NFL bound, but I would look for Vanderbilt to really try to continue to lean on Diego Pavia, but you need to have something else going for you, because last week was a telltale sign of, hey, this Missouri team just lost Bo Pabula and you barely won in the second half. That is a telltale sign that your time is coming. You're gonna drop one of these games, and I think it's gonna be this game. I think they're gonna struggle against that Texas defense, and Diego Pavia is not gonna be able to get it done. And this is exactly what I think Haynes King out of Georgia Tech is gonna struggle with if he makes the playoffs, or if he even gets to the ACC championship. People are gonna lock in on him, and they're gonna. It happened with what's it called in Notre Dame in the championship game. Notre Dame in the championship game, they did the whole drive where they want to take all these long ass plays and took like a 5-minute drive, and they thought it was going to continue on for the rest of the game. He was no longer a factor in that game, and that's what's going to happen with these teams that are led by these quarterbacks on the run game and the pass game. So I got Texas. I'll take a 27-21 victory for Texas. And yeah, look for Diego Pavia to try to continue to do his game. But Matthew Caldwell can throw that ball, and if the running backs can get going, I think it'll be a game of catch up for Vanderbilt if they get in that situation. VJ, how we feel?
Ooh, I mean,
You got to be different.
Nah, I'll be honest with you. I'll go off my judgment. I'll be realistic though. If there's one thing I do want to add, I believe when I checked out statistically, Texas does actually have a top 10 run defense. So can you limit Pavia into limit his dual threat capabilities in that sense? Who knows? It is
You got a
gonna be
linebacker.
a challenge.
You got a linebacker in Anthony Hill Jr. that should be able to stop Diego if needed.
Exactly. So it does favor Texas, and personally, I do think Texas they do have the clear cut in this one in my eyes. As much as I would love to keep on the Vandy hype train, it's just right now I feel like just Texas finally going to a home game, like you just said. Honestly, it's been a while since I actually seen them at home, and this is a game they need essentially. It's kind of hard to go against it. I got Texas 24-21.
Yeah. I want to ride on
no arch track. No arch track.
Exactly.
Does that make you more confident?
Yeah, it does. It actually does. I'm not gonna lie. If Arch plays, I'm picking Vandy. But the fact that Arch is not playing, I'm picking Texas. I just feel like Vandy, regardless, I felt like it was gonna be a close game. The only reason why I gave if Arch was playing, the only reason why is because he's coming from that concussion protocol, and we see what happened to John Materi. Obviously, it's not the same, but it's still an injury, which makes that player not the same. At least for a game or two. I feel like they should take that time to just really recuperate and make sure they really come back 100% instead of trying to force it. So if Arch was to come back, I don't think Texas is going to be able to take it. If they do, it's going to be an extremely close game. It might come down to the final second, and it's going to be a field goal kick. That's the only way I see Texas win if Arch come back. Because I'm a big thing with if you get injured, bro, just take that season off, or it depends on how bad your injury. With Arch, having that concussion protocol, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna pick Texas this one with the score being 21 Texas, 13 Vandy. I don't think Purdue is going to get it done. Not Purdue, sorry. Pavia is going to get it done. Trying to put the whole team on his back, especially at Texas. So yeah.
Last time Texas was at home was the Sam Houston game, the one where Arch flexed
Oh,
on him 155-0. That
Damn.
that
Wasn't
Jesus,
Sam
that in
Houston,
like? Wasn't that
September
like?
20th. September
Jeez, I
20th.
about to say that's
man.
like a while.
They,
That's a
they
month.
they basically had the Oklahoma game at a neutral field in Dallas, Texas, if that
Oh
matters for
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So yeah, we're talking like if Matthew Caldwell is going to get the start, but if Arch gets the start, it's the same way for me. They need the run game started. CJ Baxter's back. You got two backs that are pretty decent. Use them. Ryan Mingo still that top dog for Texas. So please throw it. But if Diego Pavia does want to keep a Heisman campaign going on, this is one of them games where you go into uncharted territory and show out and do your thing and get the win. Man, it's gonna be hard to vote against you. Moving on, we have our next matchup. We got another SEC Classic. Would you call it a classic, VJ?
Nah, not an SEC classic, but it could be something.
Playoff implications on the line. Both two-loss teams. Both, if you lose, you're out, and that's just what it is at this point. Oklahoma, if you lose, you can still win out. But three losses, I don't think you're gonna get in there, even without a SEC championship. Oklahoma, number 18, goes to a night game, the night after Halloween. Tennessee 14. I'm seeing Tennessee going all out for these Halloween games. They got the orange and black, all black uniforms. They looking tough. Tennessee 6-2, number 14. Oklahoma also 6-2. There's a lot of implications on the line. John Mateer still not the John Mateer that we know before the hand injury. But Joey Aguilar in Tennessee coming off that big win, and the win they kind of like needed to get themselves back to what they were in Kentucky, won 56-34. That offense and that Oklahoma defense. The Oklahoma defense is really, I feel like, not really fell off, but not doing what it's supposed to do. People have just been running all over and doing whatever they want over this Oklahoma defense, and I feel like it's fell off. So yes, it did fall off. But Tennessee, one of the best offenses in the country. Chris Brazzell, and Mike Matthews over top. Is one of the most dangerous, and I don't think Oklahoma's cornerbacks going to be able to keep up with them. Hopefully they can if they want a shot to win. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. With Tennessee, they're one of the more unproven SEC teams that are at 6-2. Their best one being a Mississippi State or Arkansas win. They lost to the big dogs in Georgia and Alabama in another one of their better wins, I guess, last week is Kentucky, but this would obviously be their best win. It would be a top 20 win against Oklahoma. And yeah, Tennessee kind of, both teams need it. But going back to Oklahoma just trying to get something going. I don't know what John Mateer is going to be able to provide this week. It's every week. It's like, is he going to be able to run? No. Is he going to be able to throw pretty decently? Not really. So it's just, I want to see strides in this, and I'm not gonna lie, bruh. If we talking about head coaching changes, Oklahoma should be right on that list if they don't finish out this season with a couple more wins. They got the bowl game, but I'm not gonna lie, Brent Venables, this is his last year where it's kind of like you got to prove it. And John Mateer has done what he can, and maybe they're gonna give him a little slide because of the injury and him not being the same player before. But I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Like, if you're gonna have another 4 or 5 loss season, man, it's gonna be tough to go in that off season and have confidence that Brent Venables is gonna be able to be one of the big dogs in SEC. And this is exactly what Oklahoma wanted. They want to be one of the more proven SEC teams while joining the conference. But they should have went back to the Big 12 if Brent Venables is gonna do this. BJ, how do we feel?
Oh yeah, this is a game. Both teams back against the wall. Whoever wins, they literally stay alive for SEC contention in my eyes. SEC contention realistically and overall probably making the playoffs too. This is arguably the biggest game for both teams. It's just hard to kind of go against like how, like, like this is such a must need, and it's just like both teams have their strengths. At the same time, their weaknesses if you're watching college football. So it's kind of like which one will excel more. Obviously, Tennessee, they did get that big win on Kentucky, like you just said, which against at Kentucky too. Let's not forget about that. At Kentucky could be an interesting environment. So that's interesting to say. But Oklahoma, I think they just lost their last game. Not really the best
Ole
of
Miss.
thing. Yeah, they just lost. So not the best of things to go off of. So it's rough for them. Oklahoma needs it. Tennessee needs it. It's gonna be a dogfight in terms of who's gonna edge it out more. However, I do think this kind of game shows itself thoroughly when you look at the statistics and overall how the recent games have been. That's all I could really say for now. How about you, Rack?
Yeah, it's just sad to see, Oklahoma where they are now because John Material was looking so good until he got that injury, and honestly, we could have seen a possibly a 8-0, maybe 7-1 Oklahoma, but him taking that injury and then going to Texas, not going to Texas, had the Red River rivalry, against Texas, and then that was one sided, but obviously that was that injury game he played and didn't perform as he should have, but come off an injury, not much you can do. Than Tennessee, and Tennessee always they are always so close against these top teams that they just couldn't get over the hump, whatever it may be. I don't know. They just they start off strong and they just fall out at the end. Why? I don't know why, but yeah, this game kind of self-explanatory to itself. Oklahoma just doesn't look the same. They're trying, but the season, we'll see where the season ends. But yeah, Cameron.
Good to know. Good to know. This is good. They're going at Tennessee. Probably going to be one of their tougher games first of the year for Oklahoma. Tennessee number 14 next week or the week after, I think, Alabama. And then after that, it gets a little bit easier. You got Missouri, who's still ranked at the time. We don't know how that backup quarterback's going to do. And then we got LSU. So it's looking a lot more manageable for Oklahoma. But these are the type of games you kind of need to win. And they kind of need to win out to go to the playoffs. But it's possible. It is very possible. But it's going to start here on Saturday. And I'm not going to lie, bro. I need something from the running backs. Xavier Robinson had a great start last year, or not start, not even last year, last game. He had a great game last game. It came out of nowhere. But for Tennessee, Deshaun Bishop kind of had a step back game last week versus Kentucky. I would expect him to ramp it up. They want more production out of him and to test this front seven out for Oklahoma. They don't need to because I think these cornerbacks are going to get tested for Oklahoma as much as they can. But yeah. The running backs are going to be a big factor in my opinion on the outcome of this game, and I could see a world where Oklahoma can win out. It has become a lot easier with injuries and a lot of teams falling out and a lot of head coaching firings. But it's going to start here. It's going to be at Tennessee, one of the most toxic places to play in college football at night, the day after Halloween. I just don't see Oklahoma being able to get it done because Matias just hasn't shown enough progression since he's been back. Looks like the same player since he came back every single game. And I'll have to lean towards Tennessee, and I think it's going to be 38 hung on their head. It's going to be a 38-27 Tennessee victory. Rack. How do you feel?
Yeah. The Oklahoma, John Material looking like what you said. He's looking the same since his injury. But Oklahoma going to Knoxville, Tennessee, nighttime, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. I got Tennessee. I got them ringing up 34. And then I'm not going to lie, Oklahoma, I'm going to give them a little stinker. I'm going to give them 20. BJ?
That's fair. That's fair.
BJ, do you see the hope?
I actually do see the hope because I think it really depends on. I'll be honest. It's more like Oklahoma just keeps. They can't sustain drives. And like you just said, generally is because they don't have a running game realistically to rely on, so they kind of got to force a pass here and there. This is just tough to go against, especially since you need this game, and it's out of all places. It's Tennessee at night. It's like you can't really, the odds are not in your favor, and I just don't see it. So I'll get Tennessee 35, Oklahoma 24.
Okay, good to note that the all black Texas or Tennessee uniforms is coming with white gloves. So if they get the hold of them Oklahoma white jerseys, they're not gonna see it. The refs aren't gonna see it. Moving on, we got a Big Ten matchup. We got number 23 USC at 5-2 going to Nebraska at night. Nebraska 6-2. Famously, they lost to Minnesota, and then Minnesota decides to get blown out by Iowa the next week. So looking like a bad loss in their schedule. Only other loss for Nebraska is going to be that team up north where they basically got dominated in the run game, just like how most teams does at Michigan. But yeah, they're coming off a win at Northwestern. At least they were able to beat them by 7, and now they got USC in town, which is going to be two two high-powered offenses. Emmett Johnson has really came alive for the rushing game for Nebraska. Emmett Johnson is one of the leading rushers in college football at the moment. And I won't say he came alive, but he's been really reliable for Dylan Raiola, and I think the offense needs to lean more on him, just like they did the previous week in Northwestern. And just don't let Dylan Raiola throw too much, because whenever he drops back, he just likes to, like, I don't know who he thinks he is. He thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. That's who he thinks he is, and he's not, unfortunately. So yeah, he needs to stop role playing and play football. But for the USC, the trenches, Wayman Jordan. I ain't gonna lie, like, he's another good running back that just came out of nowhere. King Miller went out, and Wayman, or it's the other way around. Wayman Jordan got injured. King Miller's back in, or really taking over for that offense in the rushing game. But it's Makai Lemon. I want to see what they can do over the Nebraska cornerbacks that are pretty decent in my opinion. The secondary is good, so they're gonna try to slow down this offense for USC, and I don't know how much they're gonna be able to do, because this is a pretty good environment to play in, man. Nebraska got some good football fans and a good stadium to play in. It's gonna be a good game, and this is what Big Ten football is. And yeah, there's a lot of Big Ten football games that should have been good this week, but yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of teams like to fire their head coach, and quarterbacks go down with season-ending injuries after having the best roster ever and taking a defensive coordinator away from the national championship. But I digress. VJ, how do we feel?
Nah, this is one of the matches where honestly anything could happen, realistically, just because it's the uncertainty of both teams. Like, when Nebraska had that loss against Minnesota, it looked like they got shut out bad for some reason. But then we know that Nebraska could put up points, so it's like whatever. And then USC, the team is good. I like it. It's an explosive team. It's a very fun, entertaining team, but it just seems to have that knack of not knowing when to do the right thing at the right time. Whether they need to slow down, they don't do that right. When they need to go fast, they don't do that right. Who knows? And you're going to Nebraska. Nebraska, I believe they're on a streak of like most like attended home games, like sold out, something like that. Nebraska fans are like very loyal. I'll give them 100% respect for that, even though they're not really the best at programs. So who knows what this could turn out to be. So I actually think this is going to be a very fun matchup in the Big Ten. I don't think there's no real shot both these teams can make the Big Ten in some way. I think there's just too many Big Ten teams ahead already in that sense. But interesting to see. How about you, Rack?
Man, Nebraska. Seems like, I feel like they have something good going on for them, and then Dylan try to do too much and try to look like Patrick Mahomes, and then all of a sudden him try to do too much just ends up making them, not win against that Minnesota game, for example. But also, honestly, for a lot of these games, they're just being close for no reason. I feel like if he just play a normal game and not try to do too much, and just be a normal quarterback, I feel like the game wouldn't be as close as they need to be. And then for USC, man, they was looking good. We was thinking like, who was they beat? They won against somebody that was Michigan. Yeah, they won against Michigan. We was like, oh shit, Michigan looking like, not Michigan. USC's, put that X factor on them. We was like, hey, we looking like a, not that big dog in the Big Ten, but we're gonna ring up a win on top of your head real quick, and I'm going against Michigan, and then proceed to play Notre Dame, but that could have went either way. But now I'm playing Nebraska, so yeah, I don't really got much to say. Cameron,
Good to note. You can go to my share screen. Matt Rule just re-upped with Nebraska, and he signed a 2-year extension through 2032. This extension includes an increase in Rule's buyout this season to $15 million from $5 million, which would effectively eliminate him from taking another job in this cycle. And yeah, basically this just keeps Matt Rule in Nebraska, in Lincoln, for the coming years, and at least this coaching cycle is what everybody's saying. And yeah, this goes through 2032. So yeah, 7 years. I don't know what everybody's gonna be doing in 7 years, but hopefully Matt Rule's still in Nebraska in 7 years, based off this contract. So yeah.
Jesus.
So in that week, let's see what he could do.
Man.
Because now he needs to go against the number 23 team. And good to note that USC had a bye week last week, was unranked, and then they became ranked. I don't think I've seen that in a very long time. I can't remember the last time that had happened. But yeah, this USC offense is very high powered, and this is one of the games where I could see Dylan Raiola just activating that takeover mode. If he's hot and he's able to get some type of his offensive line like blocking for him, and he's able to move around that pocket however he deems fit, I can see that. But I don't see out the gate he's gonna get a lot of looks. Passing wise, it's gonna be Emmett Johnson. It should be Emmett Johnson for a long time because he's the best offensive player on that team, and Dylan Raiola just has a lot of like. I wouldn't say like sophomore, like I don't know what it is. Like he just lacks a lot of
Maturity?
I don't know what it's called. Not maturity, but he plays very like his
Awareness?
traits is
No.
no. He lacks maturity in his game. That's just all I feel. Like I feel like he's disciplined. I feel like he lacks discipline. That's what he needs. He needs
Yeah.
somebody that's gonna tell him to, hey, bro, you're not gonna fucking leave the pocket. You're gonna just step up and throw the ball, bro. I don't give a fuck. If no one's open, throw it out of bounds. That's all it needs. But yeah, I gotta go USC. I'm a big USC fan, a believer. It's the fact that King Miller went out and Wayman Jordan went out and King Miller jumped in and was immediately impact, took over that spot, and that just shows how good this offense is. From your wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 3 to your tight ends being utilized for Jaden Mayava in the backfield throwing the ball. I love this offense for USC, and I think if they're able to get a shot in the playoffs, they could do some damage, and what the damage that is, I do not know at this current point, but it's a high-powered offense. They're going to have to face a high-powered defense for them to be stopped. And yeah, I thought Michigan had a high-powered defense, and you've seen how that went. But they also did lose to Notre Dame that next week. Anyways, I'm going USC. I'll take a 31-21 victory, and Nebraska's season is ended. And Matt Rule's going to have to go back to the table, the drawing board, and see if Dylan Raiola can come back for his third year and take him to the playoffs, because it's not going to be this year. VJ.
Yeah, nah, I definitely see these offenses going at it. I mean, in somewhat shape or form, but USC's just proven like game in game that they can just throw it on people's heads and get that running game started. It's just that Lincoln Riley effect. Great offensive coordinator. Well, offensive mind. Not really the best defensive. However, USC's defense has gotten better over the years, but it's not no top 20 quality. But when you need to stop, you need to stop from them. So I do take USC in this. I'll probably say like 38-28 is probably the best guess I got for USC. So that's my guess. What about you, Rack?
Yeah. I'm just going straight to the points. I got USC 38. I got Nebraska 20. I'll give him 24. Yeah.
All right. Now, on to our last matchup, we'll take a deep dive into. We got Brandon Sorsby, top 10 in Heisman votes, going to face on Devin Dampier's Utah Utes. This is going to be a late game, 10-15. VJ going to be able to stay up for this one?
I will.
You better be. It's a ranked matchup, 17-24. And this has a lot of playoff implications. Maybe the Big 12 championship, because if Utah loses, yeah, they're not having a chance at the Big 12 championship. And in Cincinnati, if they win, this could put them in the same vicinity as BYU and Texas Tech. And Texas Tech is fighting for their lives as well. But yeah, this puts BYU and Cincinnati, if Cincinnati was to win at the lone top of the Big 12, both of them would have to lose, or one of them would have to lose for someone else to be popped in there. I don't know how the Big 12 championship works, but yeah, a lot of implications. Again, ranked matchup at the Big 12 is kind of like rare these days. So it's going to be good to watch. I really want to see Brandon Sorsby use his legs, because if he is able to use his legs on the Utah defense, it's going to be a slow game for them. And Devin Dampier, I wanted to see him continue to do what he does. With both running and passing the ball. These are very similar quarterbacks in my opinion. Just one knows how to throw a little bit farther than the other one in Sorsby. But yeah, BJ, how do you feel?
Definitely, probably one of the biggest Big 12 games, like in like this season so far. I mean, next week I'm pretty sure will also be a big one too, but we're on this week right now, so can't go that ahead. However, this is definitely interesting. College game days here. That's how you know the hype is real for this game, at least. If college game days here, 10 o'clock, bro, there's got to be something. So I'm actually excited to see this. I know kind of what Utah brings to the table. I've seen them a couple times, but I haven't watched the Cincy game heavy this time. So definitely want to see what they bring to the table. I hear a lot of things. I see a couple highlights, but I need to really watch a real Cincy game, and I feel like this is not this is a better time to watch one than now. So I'm excited actually for this game to pop through. How about you, Rack?
Yeah, this is probably my first time seeing Cincinnati, and surprisingly, ESPN got the prediction of 80% favorite to beat Cincinnati, even though Cincinnati is currently ranked number 17, over number 24 Utah, and they only got one loss. They're currently 5-0 in the Big 12, so for them to be overly, like, I guess against the odds against Utah 80% is kind of crazy, but isn't David Dampier one of the quarterbacks you do not like? You Cam, you say he is trash. He cannot throw the ball, right? He struggled to throw the ball, but
he can't throw the ball past 15
point.
yards. In my opinion, he has to throw his body.
That's kind of crazy. So it's like, I don't know. So this is my first time seeing Cincinnati.
Runner.
Good runner. I mean,
he's a great runner, man.
You don't have at least you don't have more rushing yards either. At least they got a running back. I hope it seems like
that had to happen last week, bro. I'm pretty sure they're right neck and neck.
That's good. I swear I remember seeing that Dampier had the most passing yard and a rushing yard at 1.2. I'm pretty sure I did see that. But yeah, this is my first time seeing Cincinnati, so I'm surprised. We jump straight into it. Anything you guys say, Cameron?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not a lot, no.
Put their points on their head, bro. Go ahead.
Cincinnati coming off 7 straight wins. Only loss is going to be Nebraska the first week of the season. And since then they've looked very well. Brendan Sorsby looking like that guy, and yeah, Cincinnati's been running the table in my opinion. They've got upset wins on Iowa State, and I think they have another
Texas Tech
upset win against no.
Really?
I thought it was another win, but no. They beat Baylor pretty single-handedly last week and made it look good, which Michael Trigg was the tight end over there. They locked in on him and make sure he didn't get passes and made it look very good. So Cincinnati's been able to handle business week in and week out on the lower tier teams and got their upset against Iowa State. And I'm a big fan of them, and I'm talking a high game because I'm going to pick them to win and basically eliminate Utah from playoff contention. It could definitely go the other way It could go both ways, bro. This is such a close game. It's a must win for Utah. They could have won 2 weeks ago. Utah's only win is the blowout against Texas Tech, and then a loss to BYU this year. So 2 good teams coming out the Big 12 that beat Utah. But I gotta take Cincinnati 30-27. Brendan Sorsby, he's my Heisman for the Big 12 at least. VJ, go ahead.
Hey, like I said, I haven't watched no Cincy game, but I've been hearing a lot of hype about them. Utah, I know what they can do. I know their capabilities. I watched a couple of their games, but man, it is hard to go against. What I'm hearing from Cincy, man, they sounded real nice. Like this might be one of a wild Cincy team. Last time Cincy was good in my eyes was like what 20.
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, Desmond Ritter like 21, 20 or something like that. So whatever the case that might be. But I think the Cincy team. I mean, their only one loss was out of conference. So they're good, and they're going to be solid in the Big 12 still, but Utah kind of needs this to stay alive. I personally, though, I like Cincy. I like the hype. I love hearing these hype teams getting a lot of momentum. So I'll take Cincy. I'll probably go like 28-24 Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just to let y'all know, Wayshawn Parker, the running back, is at 503 yards. Devin Dampier 442.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. That's very close. I don't know why ESPN got 80% for Utah, but I'm going with Cincy as well. I mean they're on a 7-game win streak, bro. Like the iron hot for them, so it's kind of hard to see them lose. I don't know, but they're 5-0 in Big 12 play, and Utah is 3-2. So that should say a lot. But with that being said, I got Cincinnati winning 31, Utah 17.
Also good to know, Devin Dampier didn't play the Colorado game, and that's why he didn't have as much rushing yards as running back. But he should be a go for this week. I just want you to let you know because they won 53-7 on that Colorado team with the backup quarterback.
I'm about to say, yeah, Dampier didn't even play. Wait, is he playing? Is he playing against us?
He should be. I haven't heard nothing about him.
Yeah. Yes,
should be a good scratch.
Is he locked?
All right, it's now Time for the one eye on part of the show. This is gonna be a segment where I talk about other games that you need to keep an eye on. I might for the next coming weeks have less and less teams in here because there's like a North Carolina Syracuse game I'm gonna talk about. None of these teams got playoff implications and or I guess bowl eligibility games. So I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out in the coming days if I want to continue to do that. But yes, Friday Night Lights. We got North Carolina at Syracuse. North Carolina has a bigger chance than I expected for Syracuse. Ricky Collins out of Syracuse is a terrible quarterback. Yes, we know that. But Gio Lopez is probably worse. I don't know at this point. It's a shit off at quarterback for both these teams, but I think North Carolina and Bill could finally get their first win since God knows how long. But yeah, shout out Fran Brown at least. Yeah, Sam and Jelly's getting Powerade ads and shit on his NIL deal, and he's been out for 2 months since the Clemson game. So shout out Sam and Jelly. Hopefully he'll be back next year. And yeah, the shitters out in fucking Penn State decide to lose every single game they play because they're so scared of Ohio State. And now they got to go to the big house and try to win it. Not the big house. Let me not use that phrase. They got to go to the horseshoe. It's going to be a noon game, unfortunately. A blackout. So everybody, if you go to the fucking stadium, wear a blackout. Don't look stupid and fucking wear red and shit.
Time out. Hold on. Supposedly, I'm hearing that the player's not blacking out.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I asked
Supposedly the player's not blacking. The player's not blacking out, but they want the fans to black out.
Yeah. It's a blackout at noon, bro. It sounds stupid. It all sounds stupid.
I feel like I feel like if Penn State was still good, the player will black out for a 12 o'clock game. But just like since they're shit, they just scrapped that here. Never mind, we don't need to black out no more. Like I don't know why, bro. It's like we need that excitement. Just let us black out, bro. Even if they're trash, bro. But it's like, you know, what else we gonna wear a different uni, bro? Just let us fucking smack the fuck out of Penn State. You know, they're weak ass whiteout, man. But yeah,
type shit. Anyways, yeah, we did a whole big breakdown on the other podcast, the Buckeye Fan Film. Go watch that. It's like 2 videos behind or 2 podcasts behind on the channel. Anyways, but yeah, that gives us give you more of a breakdown over there if you care that much. Anyways, we got Miami, number 10, finally leaving Florida. It's been fucking 3 months since they started their fucking schedule, and they're finally leaving Florida for Southern Methodist University. Southern Methodist, and Kevin Jennings is gonna bring in Carson Beck, Ruben fucking Bain, yeah, Malachi Tony. Yeah, this squad of Miami's trying to really bounce back. They had a bye week to think about their win against Stanford. Wait. Or did they have their bye week against Louisville? I don't know. But yeah, they beat that Stanford team. Kind of struggled early with them, but they should hope to get a fast start against SMU because they can make them pay. And yeah, Kevin Jennings Sr. got nothing to lose. And this could be a trap game for Miami. And don't lose 2 in a row if you're Miami or 2 games in the season because yeah, you're already looking at the middle of the pack for ACC action. A lot of 1-loss teams. That should fizzle out in the coming weeks with the matchups ahead. One of the matchups ahead, we got a Big 12 matchup. We got West Virginia at Houston. Connor Wigman. Was it Devin Connors? Dean Connors, same shit. Yeah, these guys are one of the best backfields in the Big 12 in my opinion. And yeah, West Virginia finally found their quarterback in the freshman. And it's going to be a tough game for West Virginia. I just hope their freshman can find strides in his game to really figure out where he stands in all this. Because he should be the future if he actually decides to stay and actually be good. But yeah, he's having a rough season, 44, 66 on 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Yeah, struggled a lot. But should be the quarterback for the future for West Virginia. Rutgers at the Fighting Illini, Illinois. Illinois trying to just keep alive, get that 6th win, go to the bowl game because their seniors just trying to get another bowl win under their belt because yeah, it's over for them. Rutgers trying to play spoiler to that. Got one of the better receiving core in KJ Duff and Ian Strong. I remembered his name this time. Callie McManus is a decent quarterback. And again, they have Ohio State on their schedule, so that's why I care so much about the Rutgers team and what they're going to do against the competition we faced. Duke at Clemson. This is an underrated matchup. I just like it because there's a lot of potential NFL stars on both sides of the ball. I know Duke got a decent corner that's going to be up against these wide receivers. Brian Wesco, I think he's out for the season. Darian Minson and Kate Klubnik, though. I don't know if Klubnik's going to play this game. He didn't play the last game. They had Vizian or Vizzo or whatever the nickname I gave him. But yeah, Darian Minson is one of the leading passers in all of FBS, and he's looked really good at this. Barcade's been getting a lot of NFL scout praise in his 647 receiving yards on the season. UCF, Taven Jackson's back. He's gonna go and face up against one of the other, I think, the leading passer in FBS, and Sawyer Robertson. And yeah, Michael Trigg has been a non-factor in a lot of these games. He's an NFL tight end, and he should be getting a lot more looks and a lot of more holes in the defense. Should be able to figure out where he's gonna go in there. There should be plays for him, all the above, and they just haven't been able to do it. Been locked down the last 2 games. They need to stop that from happening. UCF finally stopped their, I think, 3-game skid in a row. Yeah, Taven Jackson's back. I just want to see what the potential of the Big 12 can be, I guess. This is, again, one of them games that probably you shouldn't watch because none of these teams are good. Navy versus Nortes. Let's talk about good teams now. We got a 7-0 Navy team that's still unranked. It doesn't make sense, man. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. North Texas, Meston coming off his 600-yard passing game, is gonna host the Navy midshipman and Horvath. You haven't heard of him? He has 1,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards. I'm seeing him in top 10 Heisman votes. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going under the radar with Navy. But yeah, for the people I see and that protect my country, they need to be ranked. They're 7-0. I'm tired of hearing this shit, man. But yeah, North Texas should be able to win that, and that gives North Texas a lot bigger shot to win this American Conference and potentially get a college playoff berth for the Group of 5 selection. Arizona State and Iowa State. These are 2 very similar teams. 2 teams that were ranked at one point have now going into November have 3 losses. Injuries are a big plague for both teams. But less for Iowa State at this point. Sama the third and Rocco Beck, they continue to show out on the box score, but not get the wins in that category. But also you got Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson. I'm pretty sure Sam Levitt's out for this game. I don't remember the last time I heard update on him. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be Sam Levitt playing the back, and then Jordan Tyson's back. So yeah, they can never be on the same field together. But when they're on the same field together, it is magical. Louisville at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech coming off their I don't know what you would call it. I guess the upset win against Cal. But yeah, very big shocker to me. It was a Friday night game. Now they're playing on Saturday at 3 p.m. 16 Louisville, trying to make sure they don't get upset at Miller Moss, Isaac Brown, Chris Bell. These are names that you probably are gonna hear either in April or next year's April in potential NFL prospects. And yeah, Louisville's trying to continue their streak of just winning games and winning as many as they can to try and have a chance at the ACC championship, which they do have a great chance to win. And Virginia Tech is trying to play spoiler, and Kyron Jones is trying to just do what he can with his feet and with his arms. Indiana at Maryland. Maryland, 3-game skid. They lost 3 in a row. They struggled in the fourth quarter. I'm hearing their head coach is about to be out the door by next year. And yeah, I don't blame him. He struggled to win games in the last couple weeks, and also to finish off games last year as well. It's been a struggling Maryland organization or college, but Malik Washington is their future, so they kind of want a new coach to get in there and not waste his years, because he's one of the biggest QB prospects they've had in years. And Mendoza and Indiana, everybody talks about them. I just want to see how much Maryland can actually put up some fight against this team and make it somewhat close. I don't know. Signetti gets mad when it's 56-0 and they don't have the ball yet. Georgia at Florida. Georgia is trying to not play, not get upsetted by Florida going to the swamp. I heard the swamp is no longer the swamp no more. People can just go swimming there. There's no sharks or gators anywhere in the swamp. It's very safe to swim. And Gunnar Stockton's gonna have to do that. Bowen's in the backfield. Gonna help him out. DJ Lagway, Jaden Ball have looked really good. You got a couple freshman wide receiver, Burnell Brown, and yeah, Florida. I think it's their wide receiver head coach is their interim head coach right now. It's going to be very interesting to see his play calling, because Bill Napier got fired after the Mississippi State game, and they won that game, but they had a bye week, and now this is their second week, and they're actually going to have competition to play, and it's going to be the number 5 team in the country. So why not make a splash if you're interim head coach and get a win? And going to be very interesting, because Georgia is in a similar situation to like an Alabama with 1 loss on the season, and they're number 5 in the country, but they still have to win out because it's such a rough SEC, and they got a couple, a Texas game, a Georgia Tech game, where if they drop, man, they could be looking on the outside looking into the playoffs. Notre Dame at Boston College. Why did I bring this up? Boston College had a decent game last week. I think it was James, and this is the number 19 Louisville team. Don't look at the score. They only lost by 14, though. It looks a lot worse than it was. But yeah, James right here, their quarterback, he had his best game of the season against Louisville. Let's see if he could do that against that Notre Dame team that needs to win every single game, and they're looking like they're going to do it. But can Boston College play spoiler? Probably not. So good luck guarding that backfield if you're the Boston College defense. I wouldn't want that task, and a 2.8% chance to win if you're Boston College. So take that and run with it if you're Boston College. Try to do a miracle. Texas Tech, number 13 in the country, at Kansas State. This is one of the more interesting matchups, man. I feel like not a lot of people talking about this. Texas Tech and Barrymore is coming back into the lineup, and he has no backup. Wilhelm is no longer a factor in this shit. He's not a backup no more. He's completely out, torn ACL, out for the season. But you look at a Kansas State team, man. They got a couple of decent wins. Don't look at the losses, man. That Army team is fucking trash, and they lost to them. So, but you got UCF, you got TCU, and you got Kansas. These are good wins for Kansas State, and I think they can do the impossible, and not that much more impossible than Boston College and Notre Dame. It's 35% at least. But I think this is a team, if Texas Tech don't show up and that defense is a little slow, Avery Johnson can air it out, and Jace Brown right here with 577 yards is going to make you pay. I can promise you that. Very high on this Kansas State team, and they have games where they look really good and really bad. Hopefully it's a really good game. We got Aiden Childs leading this Michigan State Spartans team into Minnesota. Minnesota coming off a terrible loss to Iowa, where they got stuffed in a locker, dragged out the locker, dragged down the hall, got put belt to ass, a swirly in the toilet, all the above, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro, that was bad. But it's Michigan State. You should be able to beat Michigan State, and again, with all the head coach rumblings, Michigan State's head coach is one of them. He's about to get the boot if he doesn't be able to find a win in the next couple of weeks, or at least look good in these losses. And you got a lot of beatable games in this, and Minnesota's one of them. So yeah. Good luck to Michigan State in their endeavors, but Aiden Childs in the backfield throwing and running the ball is going to be unfortunate for them. Nick Marsh is a very good wide receiver, wasting his talents at East Lansing, though. Again, the little brothers. They're always the little brothers. Pittsburgh at Stanford. Stanford, again, they was able to beat Florida State once upon a time ago. Pittsburgh, again, in the running for ACC championship contention. One loss on the season for Pittsburgh. Heinz at quarterback, the freshman, shadow him, continues to do his thing. But Stanford, it was able to beat Florida State. Does that make Florida State ass, or does it make Stanford good? Probably Florida State ass. But there's potential here. And it's a 3:30 game. Virginia at 3:45 going to Cal. We're getting a Cal game where the sun's gonna be out, fellas. This is the first time I've heard about this shit in a while, man. Hopefully Sekapatelli doesn't oversleep. He doesn't snooze his alarm a couple times, and he doesn't miss the game, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, bro, they never have a 3:45 game. It's crazy, and they're hosting the number 15 team in the country, Virginia. But I do think there's potential here. This is I don't want to call him one-dimensional, but a very slow Virginia offense that if Sekapatelli gets the throw-in, he got Raph in the backfield to hand that ball off, and De Jesus to catch that shit, bro. I like this offense for Cal, and I think it could do damage on this Virginia defense. I just don't know what this Virginia offense is going to give, because I really do think if they come out slow, Cal's going to make them pay, and hopefully Cal's able to keep the lead if they do have it. Mississippi State at Arkansas. The reason we don't have that many SEC games this week is because we got bottom feeder teams playing each other. The bottom feeders this week is Mississippi State at 4-4, 0-4 in the SEC, and Arkansas 2-6, 0-4 in the SEC. Somebody's got to get a win. God damn. Blake Shapen versus Taylor Green. Two good quarterbacks in the SEC in my opinion, but how much can you get help? Booth is a great running back for Mississippi State, but again, Taylor Green makes the big plays. He also has 8 interceptions on the season as a senior. Very, very loose with the ball. He throws a lot. I think he threw like 3 or 4 last game, and they're all in the fourth quarter for Taylor Green. I think it was 3 interceptions and a fumble. So yeah, it didn't really help Taylor Green last week. But again, he's the biggest playmaker on this field, and if he can get going and activate takeover, like VJ would say, he could take over this game for sure. Again, we got another SEC matchup. South Carolina, 3-5, 1-5, gave Alabama some toughness, I guess, against them. Made Alabama go all the way to the wire in that game. They now have a night game against Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is getting heard about every single fucking head coaching job in the country, bruh. Hey, UAB, we offer you fucking $3 million because that's all we can offer you. That's the whole deal. That's not per year. Everybody wants Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin basically said, hey, well, they're only saying that because we're good. We're 7-1. We're seventh in the country. He talked to his team. He said, "Hey, they want me because of what I'm doing in this locker room, and that's a fact. Shout out Keywan Lacey, shout out Chamberlain, shout out Winston Watkins. Wasn't that his name last week? The freshman wide receiver that basically showed out in their win. But yeah, Lenore Sellers and company is trying to repeat what they did last week against Alabama, except just not fumble the ball in the last possession. Maybe if they're able to do that, they can get a win. But I just think as South Carolina, that was their best chance to get an upset. I think Ole Miss, they understand what South Carolina does now. They are no longer going to be on upset watch. They're going to make sure this team goes out a slow death or a fast death as quick as possible, as much as they can, because Ole Miss offense is very fast and can score a lot of points, and that South Carolina defense is not what it was a year ago. Lenore Sellers is going to have a tough a road ahead of him, and yeah, hopefully he transfers and or goes to the NFL and or doesn't stay at South Carolina to waste his career anymore. Purdue at Michigan. Yeah, Purdue, again, one of them head coaching spots. Potential head coaches get fired. That's Purdue right now. And yeah, this is one of them highlight games because I want to know how much Michigan can put up on their head. Is it going to be 70? Is Justin Hayes going to do more than Jeremiah Love did against USC? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's just going to be an interesting matchup because I think Bryce Underwood should be able to throw a lot on this Purdue defense. But I don't know if they let him do that because they got so many good running backs. But this could be a game where you could watch Bryce Underwood actually throw the ball. Arizona at Colorado. This is an interesting Big 12 matchup. 4-3 Arizona it's very interesting record because they actually did face against good Big 12 teams. Colorado, on the other hand, they're losing by like 70 to fucking how Houston's backup and shit. So yeah, two different teams, but I think this could account for a good game. I'm not gonna lie. I think both are good coaches. Both got good weapons on offense. Do they decide to use them? I don't know. Is Safita gonna actually play good? Is Caden Salter gonna look like an FBS quarterback or look like he needs to go the JUCO route? I don't know. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup. It's gonna be a late game, 7 p.m. time slot. It's gonna be at Colorado. Maybe that's a factor in this game. Georgia Tech at NC State. Okay, I bring up NC State every time. CJ Bailey, Jeremiah Smith's quarterback in high school. I bring him up all the time. But if you don't believe me about CJ Bailey, go look at Hollywood Smothers. He got 800 yards on a season. Haynes King can account for 650 and 1,400 of his team's yards. Is going to be able to do everything? I don't know. Is NC State's defense going to be able to get stopped? I would assume so, right? But Hollywood Smothers is actually one of the better running backs in this whole FBS realm. And I think if NC State doesn't win a couple games, man, I think Hollywood Smothers should hit that transfer portal and see where his talent could take him, because I think it's a lot bigger than ACC and definitely a lot bigger than NC State. But look for NC State in that high-powered offense. CJ Bailey has 7 interceptions on the season, but hopefully he could erase them interceptions and just throw over top of this Georgia Tech defense, because he is a talented quarterback. He can actually think and break through the defense, but a lot of time he has to force throws because he's down so much already, and it's unfortunate because of the team he plays on. But yeah, Georgia Tech, again, 8-0, looking like the prime ACC spot taker for the playoffs. Again, the bottom feeder teams in the ACC or the SEC is facing each other. We got 0-5 in SEC, 2-5 on the season. Kentucky at Auburn, 4-4 on the season, 1-4 in SEC action. And yeah, it's gonna be a 7:30 game at Auburn. It's gonna be a tough place to play. And you got Cutter Boley, not against Jackson Arnold, against the transfer from last game. Hang on, we got to go find it now. But yeah, Justin Arnold's not going to play. I don't think they announced that yet, but I just assume at this point he's going to take a backseat to this. And it's going to be Ashton Daniels. Yes, Ashton Daniels. And he's the Stanford, I think, transfer. But so these are two teams that Cutter Bully struggled, and I think last game was his best game. Again, Ashton Daniels came in that second half and looked pretty well for the Arkansas win. Jeremiah Cobb is a very good running back for Auburn. And Cam Coleman needs to be utilized more, even though he has 40 receiving yards. He can definitely do some damage. And these are two teams that are honestly playing for their head coaching jobs as well. Hugh Freeze, Bob Stoops, I'm pretty sure, for Kentucky. These are two teams that, like, hey, your bottom feeders in SEC, we're going to have to rotate head coaches out, bro. You've had a couple seasons to cook in the SEC, and you just haven't. But yeah, Bob Stoops is what's it called? Relying on his freshman quarterback, Cutter Boley, to get him out this slump. And again, Ashton Daniels for Auburn. Washington State at Oregon State. Yes, the Pac-12 matchups. We all been waiting for the Pac-12 matchups to hit the one eye on part of the segments, and here we go. Can I tell you anything about either of these teams? I can tell you Malik Murphy on his Oregon State team is fucking dog water. He's nine touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Need I say more? I haven't watched the Washington State game this whole year, and can you blame me? Actually, I have. Voorhees is pretty decent. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's a whole lot of dog water and bullshit I'm hearing, bro. We're at Oregon this time. I think in a couple weeks we're gonna be at Washington, so good to look forward to. The Pac-12 is still alive. It's alive. On life support though. Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, night game at Florida State. And I'm not gonna lie, Wake Forest should win this game. I don't know how the fuck it is an 83% chance that Florida State wins, bro. This shit is disrespectful, bro. Wake Forest is actually a decent team, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Look at this shit, man. Look at the wins they got. Don't look at NC State and Georgia Tech, but Virginia Tech, Oregon State, SMU. Them isn't the best wins, but they're wins. They're wins nonetheless, bro. Wake Forest is a decent team, man. It's hard to watch them because they're in the ACC and fucking they shits get uploaded by ACC's fucking YouTube channel. The ACC YouTube channel is fucking dog shit. Why the fuck do you have your whole fucking graphic over the scoreboard? I can't see the scoreboard. How the fuck is the highlights? Anyways, yeah, Florida State is fucking lost like fucking 19 in a row. Oh no, it's only been 4. My mistake. I thought it was more than that. Holy shit, you beat East Texas A&M. Good for you. My bad. But anyways, yeah, Florida State.
I think you still had DJ Ugle still in your head with all them 19 losses, bro.
I don't remember. I don't know. Who's the quarterback again? Oh, Tommy Castellano. Yes, the Boston College transfer. The Boston College team that fucking has 1-7 at the moment, bro. Bro, Tommy just needs to go back to Boston, bro. He would have had a better chance. Because holy shit, bro. Yeah. Not gonna lie, bro. This Florida State team got the clean house. Tommy Castellano, is he a senior? Yeah, he's gonna be going next year. It should be clean house, bro. Shout out Deuce Robinson, bro. He's wasting his career over here. Actually a decent fucking wide receiver, 173, 147, 98. Like, he's actually fucking good. Tommy Castellano can find him though, at least. So that's the good thing. But yeah, this game should be one of them games for Wake Forest that could put them in potential ACC championship contention. But that's pretty much already been figured out. You're just looking at a good record wise for Wake Forest, and hopefully you can get to that bowl game. It looked like with 5 wins. But yeah, that'll be the end of the one eye on part of the segment. We got some news to talk about. We got breaking news coming out of Yahoo Sports. LSU and AD Scott Woodward are finalizing an exit agreement. Longtime LSU athletic administrator Verge Asbury is expected to serve as an interim athletic director. So yeah, the guy that fucking let fucking Jimbo Fisher in that Texas A&M got the job at LSU in 2019. Fucking got this man Brian Kelly paid, and probably gonna get fucking a back end once he leaves this LSU shit from Brian Kelly. Like, yeah, you just hooked me up, I'm gonna hook you up. He's out of LSU, bro. They're trying to get him out of there, and yeah, I think this was expected because of what the governor of fucking Louisiana is saying. He's like, yeah, bro, Scott Woodward, you think he's gonna pick the next head coach? I'll do this shit myself, bro. Fuck the political shit, bro. I'm worried about football. I'm not mad at him, bro. Being a sports fan, it just is what it is. Sometimes you gotta just use your power, bro. You gotta take control of this shit, man. If I was a fucking mayor of fucking any fucking place, I'm taking over the high schools, the fucking any athletics that I care about, bro. And I'm glad the fucking Louisiana fucking governor is so worried about LSU football, bro. They're trying to save the program and shit. But yeah, where the fuck do we see the AD Scott Woodward going next, guys?
Miami.
Yeah,
like the golf course? Yeah, he's probably playing golf or some shit, right? Because he's not getting another job.
Just see Miami, Texas.
He was at A&M and he was at LSU. Those two have some good ass NIL, bro.
Miami.
I'm just saying.
What does that mean? It means he got paid.
Hey man,
wherever money talks, that seems like where he goes, bro. Oregon. Oh my god. And that's straight Nike over there. That's straight Nike. All them jerseys. Oh, he's about to run up them bags over there.
Oh, no.
Oh man. Yeah. Get him the fuck out of here, bro. That man.
They got blacklisted shit, bro. They got to blacklist him, bro.
That man is doing a fucking. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, Legal scandals, bro.
Bro's doing Saul Goodman shit in college football, bro. Like,
No cap.
He's doing Saul. Like, this is crazy.
My man doing that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You really had 2 coaches get fired and both get paid millions on millions of dollars. That's crazy, bro. That's funny. Alrighty. Any final thought, Jets? Are we good?
Nah, I got none.
We're
We're good. Alrighty. Alright, we'll wrap this things up. It's been the One Foot In podcast on the Block Sit Down channel. If you guys coming from, we're currently live. Got to mention that earlier in the recording, even though we're live right now. We are live on Twitch at 8 p.m. EST on Thursday. If you're interested, come talk to us. Link in the description. It's right on the rack. It's a link tree. Once you click it, it's gonna take you to a page, or it shows all my social. Just find the one that says Twitch. Go click that one. Go hit that follow button. Have your notification on, so whenever I do go live on Thursday or any other days, you would know. But if you're interested in college football, Buckeye fan film, the plot armor, that's anime. If you're interested in all those, that's also on the channel. But if you want to talk to us, we're here live Thursday 8 p.m. EST. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, VJ, for your weekly analysis. But other than that, if you guys are new to the channel, consider clicking that subscribe button. Also, if you're already done there, also click that like button as well, as it help out the channel a lot. But other than that, we appreciate all the love and support. We catch you guys whenever we catch you next. Peace.